A very good afternoon to all of you, respected panelists, respected principals, Dr. P.K. Pathak sir, Dr. S.M. Bazirbura sir, HOD, Basic Science, and all other my colleague and other HODs. So today, we have kept this webinar especially for the faculty as well as for the students to give a idea about the National Digital Library. So everyone knows that what is a National Digital Library. So it is a repository source, or it is a database where people can access through the internet. So now these days, what happened everywhere due to this lockdown as well as due to this pandemic, students as well as faculty, no one is, so we are adopting the online process. So whenever we are deliberating any lecture or students are unable to join with us sometimes due to network problems and all. So this National Digital Library is helping us a lot. So with this regard, our Sona ma'am, she will explain each and every point about the National Digital Library. So my job is that I need to welcome to all of you. So I welcome in this webinar to all the students as well as all the faculty members to attend this session. So I request all the students as well as the faculty members to listen and watch all the lecture session, and I hope everybody will do that one. So this National Digital Library is a platform now for all of us. From anywhere we can access it. It may be related to engineering, it may be related to some other topic, it may be related to literature. So in India now presently, it has been introduced by IIT Kharagpur, and it is already introduced in 5 languages. So I guess the Sona ma'ams will explain each and every point of these websites, and we can say it is a portal also. So again, I welcome all the student and the faculty member. Thank you. So
thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone, all faculty members and students present in the webinar for information regarding National Digital Library of India. I hope the screen is visible to everyone. Abdul sir, the screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am, this is visible.
Okay, sir. So I can start?
Yes, ma'am, you can continue.
Okay. So before starting this presentation, it is important for us to understand who is going to be benefited by the use of National Digital Library. So National Digital Library is something that can be used by anyone. It can be used by students, it can be used by teachers at all levels, whether it is primary schools or college level or university level teachers or researchers. It can be used by librarians, professionals, or even when you're working in different areas, or say for example when students start working at different organizations, even then you can use your National Digital Library ID, and you can go through the various materials that are being uploaded from time to time. And National Digital Library, when we say national, it means that this particular library is being updated, and the content that comes in to this particular library is updated from all over India. So you can find textbooks here, you can find theses, you can find lectures, you can find practical simulations, audiobooks, fictions, and everything. And like it can already be, like it can be seen, there are around 7 crore plus contents, and On an everyday basis, new contents are added to it. It is available in 400 plus languages, which means that whatever language you are comfortable in, you can use it. There are 58 lakh registered users, and the sources from which these contents are generated are 347. So like we already discussed about who can use it. Now, why NDLI? Mainly because many times it so happens that we do not have access to all kinds of books or reading material. NDLI comes handy for people who cannot afford to get all textbooks and pay or subscribe for all kind of websites to see the content that you want. So NDLI comes handy for a large number of research works. It is very helpful for students. And so when we are going through the presentation, we will understand why NDLI is important, how it works, what kind of content is being incorporated into this particular website, and who is it for, how to access, and difference between Google and NDLI. So like already said that wherever you are, irrespective of whether you are in your school, you're in your college, you're in your hometown, or whether you are working in some other country or you're working at some other place, if you are a registered NDLI user, you can access it anywhere. And it can be accessed by multiple persons at the same time, which means that all over India, many people are using NDLI at this point of time. So you can use it anytime. And many times you might not come across books and materials that are available in the library, but they're available in NDLI. That means they have taken care that most resources that are not available anywhere has been uploaded into this website. And democratized education mainly means so that it is available for everyone. And since we are already facing lockdown and this crisis, during this time of crisis, whether it is teachers or students, we had faced a great amount of difficulty in reading resources and to find out from where genuine content, actually how to deliver genuine content to the students, and students also where to learn new things from. So NDLI is the place where you can learn something new. The term that is used for NDLI is called metadata, because a large number of information is generated from different sources. So you mainly have to identify the resource that you want. You have to discover there's a search engine in which you can put the things that you want, just like you do it in Google. But the only difference is that when you're retrieving the contents in NDLI, they have been tested, they have been researched, and on the basis of that, only genuine content is being put into the NDLI framework. Otherwise, when you talk about Google, it is open and many people can put whatever information you want to there. So NDLI resources are much more they're valid, and they're more accurate. So it includes hyperlinks that direct users to content to the source, and also various expressive descriptions are there. The various models that are used is the content access, web content harvesting is done, and the reason how it is being done is who can access the content, whether you are physically challenged. So you do not have to rush to the library. So a person who is physically challenged is dependent on someone, but when you have the library in your hand, it becomes much easier. Researchers, learners, and professionals, as we already know that we require data, and this is the best place. Content contributors. Say, for example, there are publishing houses and there are people who are writing, there are people who are researching, so they can put on their content into the NDLI repository. Then we have web content harvesting, in which you have institutional digital repositories and the web content, which every institution has. And on the basis of that also, you can put it into the repository here. Learning management system, because it is important for educators, where it is a two-way process, where teachers and students both can learn from the repository, where we have a large amount of data available. These are the logos of the various organizations that are contributing to the repository of NDLI, and the total number of contributors are 347. And this list includes organizations, corporates, you have your Shodh Ganga, you have your universities, schools and institutions, so everyone is involved. The most important or a very important feature of NDLI is that there is a repository on the basis of the subject that that you want. Say, for example, if you want something in the field of computer science, you have it separately. If you are searching something in the field of philosophy and psychologically, you can get it separately. So these are the various zoners on the basis of which subject-wise content availability has been done. It has been sorted very well so that it is easier for the person who is searching for data to get whatever he wants. The range of contents that we're talking about here is it is for institutions of schools and higher education. It is for research professionals, like already discussed, and for institutions and open contributors. So even manuscripts, paintings, music and drama are also included in this particular NDLI. So it is not only for fields related to art, science and commerce, but also manuscripts, painting, sculpture, music, dance and drama is included. There are audio and video contents that helps students and teachers to understand various contents very easily. And one very important addition to the NDLI website is like for students, especially engineering students who are preparing for your GATE and students who are preparing for NET, or who want to get into business schools when you're preparing for CAT. So all these question banks are also available with model answers. And there are lab experiments, manuals and case studies, as many students are unable to attend classes, practical classes. So this particular repository has a large number of lab experiments, manuals and case studies that you can go through so that you can benefit out of the experiments that are provided. Then you have term papers, assignments and solutions, lecture slides and video class notes, etc. So at this point of time, since students are already being made available of the theoretical part, and you already students already have an access to everything that can be done on the theoretical basis, NDLI serves a very good platform for students who want to learn also on the practical aspect, because they also have lab experiments, as already been discussed here. The access options are for full text is available to all, like if we talk about NC, this is for school, NCERT is available. For NDLI users, yes, why limited access to part of text available, but full text requires authorization by source authority, like there will be certain text which will be requiring authorization, and NDLI portals will help you go through those authorization processes. There are subscribed tests, for example, like you have very good journals like Springer and also Elsevier, from where you can get proper full text available from institutions that have subscribed to the source. So since NDLI registration has been done for all teachers and students, so the full text will be available for the teachers and students. There are certain restricted access to certain sources, which can be done after a proper process or sequence is followed. So there are, the first one shows the open access wise content, then subscribe, which needs subscription. NDLI users with an additional of this is the additional 6,64,000. So limited and authorized. So subscribe, limited and authorized need some kind of authorization. Otherwise, you have 5.18 crore resources which are free for use. So except for apart from the 5.1 crore resources, the rest requires authorization. The various resources for learning that is available is article, newspaper article, book, report, notes, law acts, law judgment, theses, technical report, historical record, video lecture. And the institutes that can be using it are schools, college, professionals, academic researchers, edupreneurs, and lifelong learners. So schools, like we already know, because all textbooks are available and video lectures are there. Colleges, your lab experiments, video lectures and books are available. For working professionals, if you want to learn something on a day-to-day basis, if you are an adult learner and you are learning on a day-to-day basis, you like learning, continuous learning is your purpose, then you can keep on learning. Researchers needs to go through various data time and again. So for them, it is important. Edupreneurs, for people who are running institutions and educational institutions, and lifelong learners, people who keep on learning and updating themselves from time to time. The next is how to access NDLI. So I think everyone knows about the access to NDLI. Everyone has been provided the IDs and password, and on the basis of that, you can access it, and it can be done with mobile app and browser-based application. So this is the link to get into the National Digital Library of India. You have to open Google, get into National Digital Library of India. You get that hyperlink, and it will take you towards the NDLI webpage. So this is the one library, all of India. And in the right-hand side, we can see that there is this language bar where there are a large number of language options available. So whatever language is, whatever language one is comfortable in, he can go through it. And as we can see below, study at home option is provided if you are not going to schools and colleges like what we are doing now. So we have contents for schools, CBSE examination, preparatory, engineering, science, humanities, literature, law, and management. COVID-19 research repository, where people have worked in the field of COVID-19 and has submitted. So scholarly publications, data sets, everything is available. And featured collection, where there are talks on various, there are various events also that keep on being conducted, that keeps on happening in the NDLI library. If you open the event page, there will be certain events that are coming up, and this falls under the featured collection, where like here we can see cyclonic storms. So there will be a large number of data and information available about cyclonic storms. When we say talks and webinars, we can check and see what talks and webinars can benefit us on the basis of the fields that we belong to. And on the basis of certain birth anniversaries of people who have contributed to the field of education or any other field, because of the significance of what they have done, there might be talks and webinars on that. So whenever we look into the event, if something is important for us, we can register and see if we are eligible to take part in that particular event or not. Refine search by access restriction, like if you want to learn about Java programming, these are the various things that come in. So if one wants to learn about a particular language or a particular literature, or wants to know about a particular form of art, in the search engine you'll have to put the subject matter that you want to know about, and once you press it, just like in Google, you get a large number of options from where you can select. So these are examples like engineering, mechanics, human resource. So we can a person can either put the name of the subject or the area of study and the name of the author, on the basis of which the contents will come in, or direct or the name of the subject. That is why when we are saying refined search, we have said by access restriction. There might be some restriction on certain content, so we won't be able to see it. Like here in the left hand side, refined search result, we have access restriction. So in the next one, we have access restriction author. So these are the particular author names that are provided. Which author do you want to browse? Then by learning resource type, again, you want to do a case study. You want to see how posters are being presented. On content type, you have again access restriction here. Next, then we have PG Pathshala, by educational level and access restriction, by educational level and content type, by subject category. So all these categories are provided on the left hand side. If we look at the left hand side in the refined search results, the first thing talks about access restriction. That means we already have seen that there are certain number of contents that are free for us to view, and there are certain contents that we have to subscribe to. So there might be an access restriction to certain content that we want to see. Or you can sort it on the basis of author or subject category, or you have an educational degree, you are an engineer, you want to find out that being a computer engineer, what are the various things you want to study, or being an electrical engineer, what are the various things that will benefit you. So it will be on the basis of educational degree. Then we have difficulty level, then educational level, file format, language, learning resource type. So these are the various options available, and they have another sub options available on the basis of which we can select. So if you can see into this picture, we can clearly see that this particular picture is showing that there are various videos on experiments that are being shown. So like here on the right hand side, experiment demonstration of static, kinetic and rolling friction. So what is important is we should know what needs to be entered into the search engine so that we get the proper output, and see what are the things that are available. So all kinds of experiments are available related to the degrees and related to the branch or stream that we want to learn. This is about JEE preparation materials. On the right hand side, NDLI, in order to access the preparation material, you'll have to go to the right hand side that says NDLI tutor. So when you go to NDLI tutor, right now there are 3,312 items for JEE Advanced and JEE Main. In the same manner, we have in NDLI tutor itself, if you click into this icon, you'll see that there are GATE, NET and other study materials also available which can be accessed. Now, like study at home collection by engineering subject category. So this will contain video and notes of NPTEL Swayam courses, presentations used by faculties in classes, online class lectures, questions, solution of common subject for students of all engineering discipline. So these are the things: common subject, aerospace engineering, architecture, chemical engineering, civil engineering, computer science and engineering, electrical engineering, electronics and communication engineering, mechanical engineering and mining engineering. So on the basis of branch and the specialization that one is doing, one can go through and select these particular areas and then find out what are the various things available so that you can study from the materials that are available in this particular field. Like computer science and engineering is selected here. So when we select computer science and engineering, we have presentation of science super course, video lecture, notes, MIT open course, video lecture, web course, NPTEL. Then we have video course, web course, Swayam. Then we have video text, video lectures on machine learning, video lectures on CEC, video lectures on two-dimensional array. So a large number of things that falls under computer science and engineering will be under its options. If we see into science category, again, we have different subjects. Then we have humanities, that includes your general history, geography, sociology, literature, study of English literature, Hindi literature. So irrespective of whatever field you belong to, there are a large number of contents that are available. You just need to select the field of study, click it, and then you get the various options. Open it on the basis of what you want, whether you want a video lecture, whether a person wants to see a PowerPoint presentation or practical experiments, and everything is available in NDLI. So even for law and management. So these are the various areas or the various contents that are available. The featured contents that mainly contributes to the digital library are NPTEL, Shodhganga, Swayam, satyajitray.org, Bose Institute, Spoken Tutorial, Pathshala, NSDL, that is the National Science Digital Library, Paperity, Avik, Semantic Scholar, CiteSeer, faculty contributions. And all these are licensed contents, which means they are verified and only then they are put into the repository of NDLI. These are other featured contents that is helpful for school students. We have books, state board books from Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Orissa, Punjab, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and Tripura. So these are the various institutes, that is NCERT, MBT India, Diksha, STEMIS, Exploratorium, Exam Fear, Khan Academy, Byju's, TEDx, the Physics Classroom, WatchNoLearn.org, Payet, and TeacherTube, and Pratham Story Weaver. These are the various contributors to school content in the repository. This is for medical and health. Then we have, even if you are interested in learning books and you do not want to buy a lot of books, so online books are also available, that is bestseller books, that is for pleasure reading. So the sources from where pleasure reading books are available are World eBook Library, Project Gutenberg, LibriVox, West Bengal Public Library, Library of Congress, and there are many more other libraries that has contributed to the repository for pleasure reading, and all these books are world classics and best sellers. Even this one is for competitive exam aspirants. If someone is interested in UPSC, in JEE Mains or UGC NET or clearing GATE, a large amount of contents are available here. So this is again talking about refined search on the basis of search. Then the metadata page where we can see proper information is available. This is the abstract of a particular journal, directory of open access journals. The other pages, these are just samples. And when we open National Digital Library, there are two things that we need to note. One is the content and other is the metadata. So we need to log in to view this particular content. While one is logging in, we have to enter our email address and the password that has been allotted at the NDLI. Once you log in, you'll be taken into the other page where you have filter options, and these filter options allows you to find out which books of what author is required, what is the difficulty level of the books that you are asking for, what is your educational degree, what level of education you are in, whether one is in school education level or in college education level or the university education level. So these are also filter options. Then this is the Indian language in the interface. We already saw that a large number of languages are available from which we can select. Their NDLI mobile app is also available on Android and iOS and in Umang. So in the Umang app, if you go, we have this NDLI India here. So these are the mobile apps. So one can directly have the mobile app in the phone and they can directly access. So every time one doesn't have to go to Google and access the page. This NDLI mobile app can be downloaded from the Umang app. So when we have the mobile app, in the mobile, this is how it can be seen. We have to search here. Financial accounting. Once you get we enter financial accounting, these are the books that come in. There are authors, subject domain, and education on the basis of which we will get. Then we have the content type, and then once we on the basis of this, we get the number of content that is available in the website regarding to financial accounting. Now, how is Google different from NDLI? When we talk about Google, before moving on to this part, when we talk about NDLI, we already said that in NDLI, we invest whatever data we are going through are data that has been verified. Even though data are verified, even in case of Google also, but if we want relevant data for studies, Google is much more beneficial in comparison to NDLI, and NDLI can be used as a daily, as something that we use on a daily basis to access information and resources so that it can help in our work and studies. So these are feedback of students. This is Payal, who is in class 8 and her native language is Hindi. Her final exams are next month. She is particularly scared of magnetism in the subject of physics. In NDLI, there is an option where we can see exam fever has also contributed in the content to make students understand how to overcome exam fever. This is Shamik, who is an engineering student. He's interested to apply for the PhD position. He needs technical papers on magnetism to build his paper. So because he requires a paper on certain field, that is magnetism, so there will be large number of resources available in the NDLI library if one visits Shodhganga or one visits the various journals and articles that are available there. So when they search when he searches magnetism, there are a large number of options that are available. So this is Google. So this is how Google works. There are this many results, and this is how we have to sort it out, and we do not know which one is most accurate. Whereas when we talk about the search engine in NDLI, this is how it works. We put the subject matter here in the search engine, and on the basis of authors, on the basis of the papers available, and on the basis of studies that has been conducted, a large number of data is available, and this data is filtered data. That is why we are using the term search filter here. It is a filtered data where only things that are important on the field of magnetism will be shown here. And at the same time, from class 5 to 8 Hindi, all the study materials are available here. So it is a much more refined and a filtered search when we talk about NDLI library in comparison to Google, where if we type a particular word, a large number of results come up, and we do not know which is the actual answer to the result, especially when we are entirely new to that particular concept. Whereas in NDLI, then once a particular term or a field of study is put, the data that comes up is on the basis of various data that has been incorporated and put in by various institutions that are working towards the field of research and educational development. So that is the difference between the search engines in NDLI and Google. When we compare curated educational content in Google and NDLI, Google does not have curated educational content. NDLI has, and that is the additional advantage with NDLI, that instead of throwing up thousands of random results, NDLI presents specific data from premium content sources in multiple Indian languages. Google does not narrow down the results. It is not a unified platform, and it does not have national licensing in terms of educational content that it provides. Whereas NDLI has both curated educational content, it narrows down the results, it is a unified platform, and it has national license. So it has modified their search. The platform integrates content from various content sources and displays it in a single platform that can be accessed anytime and anywhere. And paid content can be accessed free of charge due to national licenses, so that learners from the remotest part of the country can learn. So this is the major difference between Google and NDLI, and that is why it is said that the data and content that is available in NDLI is more accurate and correct in terms of accuracy in comparison to Google, because when we talk about NDLI, whatever data we get is on the basis of the educational data that we require, and it is on a unified platform, and at the same time it is narrowing down the result, reducing the amount of confusion that is created in the mind of a person when we are talking or thinking or researching about something new. Thank you for listening to the presentation, and hope that this particular presentation helps everyone, teachers and students and every one of us, to understand the importance of the National Digital Library, as National Digital Library will help us to improve our knowledge base and also reduce the gap that has been generated during the time of COVID. as practical exam classes cannot be properly conducted. So these practical exposure that can be seen, or the video lectures that can be seen in NDLI, can help in updating the knowledge and also understanding the concepts better, which will be important in the future to get better jobs, and also to get into better institutions, or to crack these exams like GATE, JEE, or CAT exams, so that higher education is possible in better institutes. This brings an end to us to the NDLI presentation. I would now like to request Russell sir to carry forward the presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. So, really speaking, I'm very shocked that today I came to know about that NDLI. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm really shocked that by listening that all those and that NDLI, what exactly they are giving. Really, it's a very helpful for us, for the entrepreneur, for the scholar, for the students and all. They have really taken a very good steps, and it's a very helpful for us. So at least we have to thankful to our nation also, that they have at last they have taken this type of step to us. So I'm the last one who has that on behalf of our regional list of science and technologies. My responsibility is to give a vote of thanks. So first of all, I would like to thank to our principal sir, Dr. P.K. Pathak sir, for your time. And I would like to thank to our Vijay Barua sir also, who is very energetic and always used to give us time for our sir. Thank you, sir. And that our very energetic and behind all those, our register sir, I guess register sir is there, the journal sir, thank you very much to give and this for the registration and all. Actually, all the registration and all those things, our librarian sir, they used to do, but he's the only one who used to search all those things, what we have to do, what we have to not do, and all those things journal sir used to do. So thank you very much, sir, to give us this type of very good source, that one. And I would like to thank all the HODs in this busy schedule only, that we have a lab, we have a time that class, and so many busy schedule. All the students, all our respective HODs, thank you, all of you, and our faculties who has made our students and who has made that our students, they must have to join. Here today, so many students have joined. This is only because of the department HODs and faculties and the coordinators. So thank you to all the HODs, faculties, coordinators, all our respective students, my belonging students. Thank you very much to attend this to the webinar of that National Digital Library, of the National Digital Libraries. And last but not the least, I would like to thank our librarian sir, Symbiotis sir, and one more background, our back in the background, our professor Abdul Qayyum from CS department. These two people, really I have seen these two people from near about 10 to 15 days. These two people, day and night, they are working, they are sending the mail, they are requesting the to the faculty, to the students and all, in all means how to prepare the presentation and all. These two people are the very background of this today webinar who has made us successful. Thank you to Sampati sir and the Professor Abdul Qayyum. And the last one, Sona ma'am, thank you very much that the way you have explained us that what is the benefit of this NDL, what are the things we have to achieve from this NDL. Really speaking, I don't know about the others, but really speaking, I don't knew earlier what was this NDL, that National Digital Library. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, to give this wonderful presentation to us, so that we had got some idea and all. So thank you to all of you. So this is the ending of our webinar. Thank you to all. Thank you. Abdul, shall we move?
Thank you also for coming. So I will close the session now. Thank you.